what's up you guys, my name is Swati and welcome back to my channel where if the book is nice we read it twice. Today I am coming back after a long break. I had some friends and family coming over at home and I got busy, so it's been a while since I've done this. I am not feeling very comfortable in front of the camera, but I think I'll just have to push through, and I have chosen an easy thing to do, which is my book haul. It's been a long time, so I have around 45 plus books over here. So let's start with the video. Let's start with the heavier set of books. These are my graphic novels selection. Okay, so the first book that I have for this haul is The Art of Living by Grant Snyder. The Art of Living and Reflections on Mindfulness and the Over-Examined Life. It is a delightful and humorous collection of comics about joy of existence and stillness of time. So I will show you. It's a delightful book. Grant Snyder is a internet famous cartoonist who puts cartoons up on Instagram, and his artwork is really transcendent and lovely. The next book I have is Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, Omnibus, Scary Tales and Scarier Tentacles. So this is a big hardcover. It is the first of 3 volumes that correct the complete Simpsons Treehouse of Horror comics by creator Matt Groening, packed in deluxe die-cut slipcase with glow-in-the-dark cover. The Tree House of Horror is an annual Simpsons tradition done on Halloween, and I have enjoyed it throughout the years. Now when it is getting anthologized in comic book form, I'm very interested in reading this. The next book I have is kind of an art book. It is The Art of Nothing, 25 Years of Mutts and Art of Patrick McDougall. So this is 25 Years of Mutts and Art of Patrick McDougall, timed at 25th anniversary of the comic strip Mutts. It celebrates Mooch the curious cat and Earl the ever-trusting dog. His short pre-published classics and autobiographical developmental work which features in this book. Some of the few books pre-published by him, and also his development process, which is very intriguing. adult thrillers. I'm somebody who still enjoys reading a bit of young adult thrillers. I don't always give them 5 stars, but they are still good once read and done kind of books, and I really do enjoy some of them. The first book I have to show is Five Survive by Holly Jackson. She is the author of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, and I have that on my shelf. I have not read them yet, but I think I'll read this one before, which is one and done. So this is Five Survive. This is a story about Red Kenny, who along with 5 friends is off on a road trip where their RV breaks down in middle of nowhere. They also don't have any cell reception, and to top it all off, they realize somebody is out there ready to kill them. Not only that, someone among them is lying. So 8 hours till dawn, 6 people together, 5 survive. So this is the next book by Holly Jackson, and I'm very interested in this. It is getting mixed reviews, but I think I like it. The next book I have is Nothing More to Tell by Karen McManus. So this is the story of Brianne, who left the school when her favorite teacher was killed and found dead in a wood behind the school. The case was unsolved, and now she's come back doing her dream internship at a true crime show where she is determined to find what actually happened. So I need nothing more. This is also a signed copy, and I'm very excited to read more books from Karen McManus. I have the lot, and I think I'll read them together in a vlog. Next book is A Billionaire Dies and Leaves Avery Gramps his entire fortune. The catch: she'll have to come and live in the Hawthorne house, which is still occupied by his disinherited relative. So the grandsons and Avery are same age. There are codes and puzzles and riddles and secret passages in the house, and she'll have to play the game to survive this year in Hawthorne house. So sounds interesting. I don't want anything more. I am loving this trend of young adult thrillers where there are multiple books having the same characters continue with the story. There is Truly Dreamwest series, there is Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, and there is the Inheritance Game series. I'm very late to the bandwagon, but I have joined it nonetheless. This is my first book, and I will love to continue the whole series. Now let's come to some adult thrillers. Next 3 books that I'm hauling are books that I found again on my little free library that I showed in the beginning of the video. The first 2 books are In Death series by J.D. Robb, which is pen name for Nora Roberts. This is highly loved series where most of the books are 4 to 5 star on Goodreads and have die-hard fan following. I don't know much about these books or the series, but I'm very interested in getting into them. These books follow Lieutenant Evie Dallas and her husband Rora in New York City, where she's a lieutenant. And this is the book 31st and 32nd of the series. It is Indulgence in Death by J.D. Robb, Treachery in Death again by J.D. Robb. So I know these are 31st and 32nd book in the series, but I think you don't need too much of previous and the next to enjoy these ones. These long series are written that way. I will try to read them, and if I like them, I am planning to get into this series as well. So it is a big endeavor, and I don't know whether I will like it or not. The rating says I will, but let's try them to find out. The next book I have is Michael Connelly's The Wrong Side of Goodbye. It is a private investigator story named Harry Bosch. Harry Bosch is California's newest private investigator. He doesn't advertise, he doesn't have an office, and he is picky about who he works for. But his chops from 30 years of LAPD speaks for himself. In this one, a millionaire is trying to find the heir to his empire. He had a torrid affair with a Mexican woman, and when she got pregnant, she got separated or disappeared from the scene, and he always consider her one true love. So this is a story where Harry Bosch as well as the new heir to the empire are in danger from unknown suspects. Sounds interesting. I'll also give this one a try. I'm not very keen on starting a new series, again such a lengthy series, but let's see. This also has a 4+ rating. Now let me talk about some of my book of the month picks. I love book of the month. They are amazingly priced hardbacks and they have some fantastic picks. I invariably pick a book or few from book of the month every month, and I have done this in past 2 months as well. So I have next thriller that I wanted to read, The Silent Patient. It is an old one, everybody loved it. This is kind of a classic. So the Silent Patient is a story about Alice, whose life seemed perfect till the day Gabriel, her husband, comes late from the office and she shoots him in the face 5 times and never speaks a single word again. Now a psychotherapist, Theo, is obsessed by Alice and he wants to cure her and be the one to actually figure out what actually happened. The story is about violence, obsession and dark side of passion. I have already started reading it. I hope it is as intriguing as the plot seems to be. So the next book of the month pick I have is She Started It. This is from the book of the month pick this month. The weakest link in a clique invite 4 of her friends for a weekend at Bahamas for her extravagant bachelorette, and they all comply. Soon they come to the island and realize that they are the only one invited. Worse still, they have no cell reception. So one by one their secrets start unraveling and their adventure starts to become a nightmare. It must be a terrifying nightmare and I'm very interested in seeing what this is. As I have told before that I love Course Circle, isolated mystery. This is one of them and I'm very interested in a mean girl group going through it. The next book I have is The Wishing Game. A reclusive mega bestseller author quits writing under mysterious circumstances and suddenly he resurfaces with a brand new book and one-of-a-kind competition. This will change the winner's life forever. This reminds me of Charlie and Chocolate Factory but for adults and about books. So you could not have picked a better plot. I hope it is as intriguing as that book and it keeps me hooked by first page. The next book is a new book box entry in my life. This is from Aardvark Book Club book box and it is Ascension. I have ordered more books from the book club. I hope they are as very similar to book of the month but different options and I could not resist getting this. This is a sci-fi and mystery when a mountain taller than Everest appears in the middle of Pacific Ocean. Harold Turnmore has been sent to investigate the summit only to find that their memory of previous life has started to fade away. Paranoia turns to violence among the crew and there are some ancient creatures lurking and pursuing them in the snow. This sounds absolutely ridiculous. I hope it is ridiculously brilliant. This is Ascension, a novel. Now the next few books are also book of the month. I absolutely love book of the month for their such diverse collection. I am not sponsored in any way, but if they are ever interested in sponsoring me, I'll love it. This next books are magic realism tending towards fantasy. First one is a contemporary with magical realism. It is The Astonishing Color of After by Emily Exarpade. Everybody has read this. I'm the one lagging behind and let's salvage that situation. When her mother dies by suicide, she turns into a bird. Leah travels to meet her maternal grandparents for the first time. It is a mix of grief, love, art and family history. This is The Astonishing Color of After. The next book have had mixed reviews but I have read this author before. I am talking about Shay Earnshaw and the first book that I have to haul is A History of Wild Places. This is thriller mystery mixed with a little bit of cult and there might be magical realism herein because it sounds like that. I'll have to read to find out. Travis Vern has an unusual talent to locate missing people. He disappeared on the search to find Maggie St. James, which brought him to the border of a commune. Now, years later, a member of that commune finds Travis's jeep on the edge of the community. This spirals into unraveling of many secrets, and this book talks about a wilderness of your own mind. So this sounds very cryptic. I almost got nothing from the synopsis, but that's all right. I know it's about cult. I know there is a bit of magical realism because Travis could take a person's object and then use it to find where that person is, and along with that, this sounds like a very intriguing story, so I'm here for it. The next book by the same author is A Wilderness of Stars. There is a girl astronomer here who has stayed away from the populace because her mother asked her to do so, but her mother is no more, and she now went into the city only to find out that she is the only one tattooed as a astronomer, which is, there is a class system in this book, and everybody is trying to get to her, whereas she is trying to do her job as an astronomer and find the cure from what stars are telling her. So this again sounds magical realism, or this even can border into straight up fantasy, and I'm interested in this one as well. Next book is a fantasy. It is Ink Blood Sisters Cry. Two estranged half sisters tasked with guarding their family's library of magical books must work together to unravel a deadly secret at heart of their collection. So this is Ink Blood Sisters Cry. This is a new one and I can't wait to get into this one, but this one will have to wait because I want to read some similar books together. Next I have Middle Game by Seanan McGuire. Now I have read very little of Seanan McGuire, and I have read very little of Seanan McGuire because she writes faster than I can read. So she has a lot of books out there and I would like to read all of them. That is how much I loved her first book in the Wayward series. I'm trying to collect those, but I am also interested in her Middle Game universe. In this book, the master storyteller Seanan McGuire introduces us to America, run by alchemical Congress, powerful society focused on transmuting reality. So there are two characters here, Roger and Dodger, who are twins. Roger has complete control on language, whereas Dodger is complete logic and maths. They are not exactly gods, not yet. Their creator wants them to attain highest power and to cultivate their authority as his own. Godhood is attainable in this universe. Let's pray it is not attained. So this is Middle Game. Very interesting cover and very interesting premise. I will get to it as soon as possible. Next I have The Midnight Sun. This is Twilight from the viewpoint of Edward. We know the Bella's viewpoint in Twilight, but it is Bella's and Edward's story from Edward's viewpoint. It is a bit of nostalgia for me, so I have it. I'll read it along with a full read along of Twilight series that is due on my channel, and I think I'll do that very soon. Now let's come to some of my beautiful acquisitions. These books are not really only cover buys. I am interested in the plot, but they are gorgeous to look at, so I'll have some close-ups for these books. The first one being The Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. A dark academia with dragons and dragon riders is also an underdog story to this romantasy. And 20-year-old Violet Sorry-Gale was supposed to enter the scribe quadrant, live a quiet life among book and history. Now the commanding general, also known as her tough-as Talon mother, has ordered Violet to join hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite Nevaeh dragon riders. But when you are smaller than everyone else and your body is brittle, death is only a heartbeat away. Because dragons don't bond to fragile humans, they incinerate them. With fewer dragons willing to bond, Then the cadets, most would kill Violet to better their own chances of success. The rest will kill her just for being her mother's daughter. Like Xander Ryerson, the most powerful and ruthless wing leader in the Riders Quadrant. She will need every edge her wits can give her just to see the next sunrise. Yet, with every day that passes, the war outside grows more deadly. The kingdom's protective wards are falling, and the death toll continues to rise. Even worse, Violet begins to suspect leadership is hiding a terrible secret. Friends, enemies, lovers, everyone at Basgath War College has an agenda. Because once you enter, there are only two ways out: graduate or die. The fourth week is a dark academia book with dragons and dragon riders along with the underdog story. This is also a romantasy. So this has it all. I hope it delivers on what it promises, and this will be the best book for the year. The next book I have is The Lies We Sing to the Sea. That was only the start of her story. In the cursed kingdom of Ithaca, each summer brings the hanging of 12 maidens, a gift to the vengeful Poseidon. For 17 years, Leto has escaped the curse mark until now. But that does not claim Leto. Instead, she wakes on a mysterious island, greeted by the immortal Melantho. She tells Leto that Ithaca's sacrifices are the legacy of the great Odysseus, payment for the lives of Queen Penelope's 12 maids, cast into the ocean centuries ago. Leto has the chance to break the curse. She just has to kill the Prince of Ithaca. But Prince Matthias also seeks to free her kingdom from the curse. Torn by her growing love from both Melantho and Matthias, Leto must choose a path to follow. By breaking the curse, they will save thousands of lives. But if they fail, then the tides of fate will drown them all. This is a revenge story with the curse and Greek mythology to mix it all up. Sounds interesting. It's a very pretty book. Let's hope the content is also as enticing. Now the next book I have is Witch King by Martha Wells. Martha Wells has amazing ability to create characters which we love and adore and identify with, and mixing it together with breathtaking action and adventure. So this is, I would love to get into her Murderbot series. I love short fantasy and sci-fis, and especially if they are fairy tale retelling. Her Murderbot series is not a retelling, but it is a sci-fi, and I'm very interested in it. So I will start reading Martha Wells from this book. This is Witch King. Being murdered, his consciousness dormant and unaware of the passing of time while confined in an elaborate water trap, Kai wakes to find a lesser mage attempting to harness Kai's magic for his own advantage. This was never going to go well. But why was Kai imprisoned in the first place? What has changed in the world since his assassination? And why does the rising world coalition appears to be growing in influence? Kai will need to pull his allies closer and draw on all his pain magic if he is to answer even the least of these questions. He is not going to like the answers. So sounds mystical. We don't know who Kai is. We don't know what the magic system is. All we know is there are curses, there is death, and there is life after death in this one. And I would love to know what it is all about. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous edition. The next pretty one I have is a sci-fi. The next two books actually are sci-fis. First is Some Desperate Glory. It's a science fiction about wreckage of war, found family, and who you must become when every choice is stripped from you. While we live, the enemies shall fear us. We are what is left. We are what must survive. All her life, Cry has trained for the day she can avenge the destruction of planet Earth. Raised on Gaia Station alongside the last scrap of humanity, she is only the best warrior of her generation, the sword of a dead planet. Then Command assigns her brother to her certain death and relegates her to a nursery to bear sons, and she knows she must take humanity's revenge into her own hand. So this is Kai's story, and this is a beautiful edition with galaxy edges. I love it. I hope this will be as interesting as the synopsis. The next book I have is a science fiction. It's a classic in science fiction. It's not one book but a compilation of 7 books. It's the leather-bound classic Barnes & Noble Leather G. Wells 7 novels, and the novels included in this collection is The Time Machine, The Island of Dr. Moreau, The Invisible Man, The War of Worlds, The First Man in the Moon, The Food of the God, and The Day of the Comet. So I will be reading this sometimes later in the year, maybe in winter, and this sounds very amazing. A very pretty edition with gilded edges. So coming from beautiful books and their sprayed edges, let's come to beautiful books with their spines. I'm talking about Cassandra Clare's paperbacks, and they have a spine to die for. All of her collections have the same. And the next series that I have to show is the Infernal Devices book 1, 2, 3, Clockwork Angels, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess. Also by Cassandra Clare is the next series, which is the Dark Artifices series, and the books are Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, Queen of Air and Darkness. So I have come very late for Cassandra Clare as well. I have her Mortal Instruments. I have read her first book and I think I like the series, so that's why I have bought all of them. And I think next month what I'm gonna do is, instead of reading other books, I'll just binge all the Cassandra Clares. Tell me what you think about that. Tell me what you think about that. Would you be interested in a read along or a reading sprints with Cassandra Clare? Next books are all young adult or middle grade fantasy books. Some of them I am trying to complete my collections with. Some of them are new to me. I'll just show them right now. The first one is the first one in the series of Unfortunate Events. This is The Bad Beginning. I've been collecting this one by one out of order, but I think my collection is coming along very well. The next one is the latest installment in the Wayward series. It is The Lost in the Moment and Found by Seanan Maguire. This is book number 8 in the Wayward series. Wayward series is actually a portal fantasy story where children, after going to new worlds, come back and then can never return. They spend their life in misery of knowing that there is a world perfect for them where they cannot reach again, and there is a school of sorts for these children where all of them come and try to survive and find basic skills for living. It's very interesting. Throughout the series there have been many different new concepts, and I don't know much about them, but I would love to dive in. Next one is book number 2 in the Fracture Fable series. This is a mirror mended. Last time it was a Sleeping Beauty story. I think this one will be Cinderella story, so I'm here for it. I want to collect these series as well. This is also very short and easily digestible series. Next is from the world of Soman Chanani, the book 3 in School of Good and Evil, The Last Ever After. I have also bought the School of Good and Evil, the Never Ever handbook, where you can pretend to be a student of this universe and try understand basic trivia as well as play along. So it is a fun companion book, and I got this one as well. is a duology. I should have included it in my beautiful books section. This is Steeped in Poison, and book 2, A Venom, Dark and Sweet. In this series, for Ning, the only thing worse than losing her mother is knowing that it's her own fault. She was the one who unknowingly brewed the poisonous tea that killed her mother. The poisonous tea that now threatens also to take her sister's shoe. When Ning hears a competition to find the kingdom's greatest Shinongshi, master of the ancient and magical art of tea making, she travels to the imperial city to compete. The winner will receive a favor from the princess, which may be Ning's only chance to save her sister's life. But between the backstabbing competitor, the bloody coat polish, and mysterious and handsome boy with a shocking secret, Ning might actually be the one in more danger. So this has court politics, a competition, and a ticking clock. And this is a gorgeous edition, and so is the next one, which I don't know anything about, but since it is a duology, I had to get both of them. The next is the Macmillan Fairy Tale Collection. It is a gorgeous collection of fairy tales. I have been on a fairy tale kick recently. I have read Suman's Chinani fairy tales. I have heard some of the fairy tales retellings, and instead of going for the retellings, I want to go for the original source to know what actually is being changed for the modern taste palette. This is a gorgeous addition to do so. It has a lot of things that I was not aware of, lot of fairy tales that I am not aware of, and I'll be consuming this bit by bit slowly so that I can read this for a very long time. Next, let's come down to romance books. This is going to be my summer of romance. I am in my romance era right now. I've bought a lot of romance books, and these books are the kind of books I want to read right now because it's summer. I just want to relax. I don't want to annotate, or maybe I will, but I don't want to be stressing about reading, but rather I want to enjoy them in quick bursts. So the first section of the books that I have is the Simon Verse romance books. This is young adult romance books. The Simon and the Homo Sapien Agenda. I have read this before, but I didn't have it in my collection, and I remember liking it a lot. So I have bought this one, and the other two books in the upside of Unrequited. This is a companion novel to the Homo Sapien Agenda, and the second installment in the series, which is Leah on the Offbeat, which stars Simon's best friend Leah. The next three books are also blast from the past. I have read the first one. I think I have read the second one, or maybe I have read the second one and not read the third one. I left the series midway. I don't even remember which one I have not read. But this is Jenny Han's To All the Boys I've Loved Before series. The first one being To All the Boys I've Loved Before, P.S. I Still Love You, and Always and Forever, Laura Jean. So I want to finish this series now, and everybody knows this. This is a famous Netflix movie series as is, and I just want to read this summer. The last two books of this haul are from Anita Kelly. I had read for the first one last year. This is Love and the Other Disaster. It has a non-binary representation in this romance book, and the next one is Something Wild and Wonderful. So this has gay representation, and I have recently read and finished it, and I absolutely loved it. So I wanted to read more queer love stories, and that's why I bought the Simon Verse books. If you have any more suggestions for queer love stories, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to get to them. That is all the books that I want to haul today. Let me know in the comments down below if you are interested in any of them, or do you want me to read any of them before others. Like and subscribe if you like what I do over here. I'll see you with another video soon. Bye bye.